Mike Pence just can't seem to keep his mouth shut, and his ignorance is once again on full display. In this video, we're going to get into the details of Pence's criticism of Donald Trump's stance on abortion and show you why the former VP is completely off the mark. He's wallowing in the same stupid as the liberals, only on the other side of the spectrum. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back. So on Monday, former Vice President Mike Pence made a fool of himself when he criticized Donald Trump's refusal to back a federal abortion ban and called it a retreat on the right to life and a slap in the face of millions of pro-life Americans. Hardly. Pence is a slap in the face to the U.S. Supreme Court and the U.S. Constitution because he let his ignorance get the best of him. The former vice president's statement came a few hours after Trump took credit for the conservative majority on the Supreme Court that overturned the landmark Roe v. Wade verdict when they ruled on the Dobbs case, which legalized abortion worldwide. Roe was a lie that liberal justices on the high court told in 1973. Trump did not embrace social conservatives' drive to outlaw abortion at the federal level, instead emphasizing his support for states to set their own abortion rules as long as there are exceptions for rape, incest, and a mother's life. There is no need to ban abortion at the federal level because the Supreme Court told the federal government that it has no role. From here on out, if the politically correct death squad wants to try to create a federal law codifying Roe or any other abortion legislation, a federal court would strike it down immediately because of the Dobbs case. Now, Trump said the states will determine by vote, legislation, or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land. In this case, the law of the state. Now, he said that in a social media video. He continued, many states will be different. Many states will have a different number of weeks. At the end of the day, it's all about the will of the people. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Donald Trump is the most constitutionally conscious president of my lifetime. The former vice president expressed concern that too many Republican politicians are all too ready to wash their hands of the battle for life. Except there is no battle at the federal level. This is not difficult. This is classic RINO outrage. Pence is either willfully ignorant of the Dobbs ruling or he is a fool who doesn't understand it. There's no option three, guys. When the majority on the Supreme Court ruled in the Dobbs case that Roe v. Wade was unconstitutional and righted the wrong of nearly 50 years, the court told the world that the federal government has no role in it. You have to accept that. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, known as the enumerated powers, lists all 18 powers that the federal government has. Abortion is not among them. Abortion is not an amendment either. I am a pro-life advocate. In the past, I volunteered for Pro-Life America, and I've always voted pro-life. But I'm also a realist and an originalist on the U.S. Constitution. Pence went on saying something peculiar. He said, however much our Republican nominee or other candidates seek to marginalize the cause of life, I know pro-life Americans will never relent until we see the sanctity of life restored to the center of American law in every state in this country. So then why is he crying over Trump's argument that the states need to do their own thing at the will of the people? You know, up until about 5 minutes ago, people in this country that call it a democracy had the right to vote for candidates that they wanted to represent them at the state level. People who wrongfully tried to go the federal route on this issue took away all the rights of those people who wanted to vote either for or against it. When asked for a response to Pence's criticism, Trump campaign spokesman Steve Chung simply said, "Who?" Pence was far from the only prominent Republican to attack the former president. A key anti-abortion group was likewise dissatisfied with Trump's announcement. Marjorie Dannenfelser, president of Susan B. Anthony Pro-Life, said she was deeply disappointed by Trump's declaration on Monday, saying it was a win for Democrats. Hardly. Quote, saying the issue is back to the states cedes the national debate to Democrats who are working relentlessly to enact legislation mandating abortion throughout all 9 months of pregnancy. Dannenfelser said in a statement, if successful, they will wipe out states' rights. Now, the dopes on the right and the left have the same problem, but 180 degrees apart. Dobbs ruled that the federal government has no say in abortion whatsoever. That means that you cannot create a law that codifies abortion, but it also means that you cannot create a law that bans abortion at the federal level. The Supreme Court's decision 2 years ago shifted the debate to the states, where it always belonged. Thanks to 100 years or more of politicians bastardizing our constitutional system, many people think the federal government can do anything it wants. And why have states and state governments? Following the Supreme Court ruling, Republican-run states have passed a number of abortion restrictions, including Florida's 6-week ban. At the same time, Democrat-run states have passed legislation making it easier to get an abortion. As Democrats attack Trump and other Republicans on the sensitive topic of abortion, the former president has attempted to get people to understand the realities of the world without relenting on his pro-life stance. As for working at the federal level, why fight when there is no arena? The battle is now in the states. Republicans have to face facts. They have to face reality. Abortion without exceptions for rape and incest loses election. My home state of Pennsylvania would have a Republican governor right now if Doug Mastriano had known that. We could have had anti-abortion laws in place, but instead we have a liberal Democrat governor. Throughout his presidential campaign, Pence regularly stated, "I'm pro-life and I don't apologize for it." That's a great little slogan, but it didn't even net him 1% in the primaries. In August, he told Iowa reporters, "I reject the notion that standing up for the sanctity of life is a political loser." On this argument, Pence should brush up on the Constitution and read the Dobbs ruling, because he's barking up the wrong tree. All right. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.
How did we end up here in the corner looking like enemies? We used to be the team people talk about, what a chemistry. I can see it in your eyes. You don't want to talk anymore. I want to get so numb, while we enemies.